Hey everyone, Nick here. Now today I'm going to be forging a Tomahawk. I'm going to be doing a little bit of forge welding with this one. I'm going to be forging this Tomahawk out of half of a Farrier's rasp. So the first thing I do is mark the halfway point and then go over to the angle grinder and cut it in half. So now that I've got my piece, it's time to fire up the forge and let it get up to temperature. I put the rasp in the forge until it gets up into a nice yellow color, and then I can start forging on it. When I'm forging this, I'm trying to bring it into a sort of elongated U shape. I want the ends to be flared out, kind of like an axe head. And I'm drawing out the center, and that will become the eye of the axe. I'm also making sure to only hammer from one side because I want the bottom of the axe, the part that I'm hammering on, to be a little bit thicker. That way the eye will have a natural taper built in. So I keep hammering it, just making sure both sides are even. Once it looks good, I give it one more heat, and then I take it over to a 1-inch piece of pipe. Now this is a 1-inch diameter pipe. It's actually a 3/4 inch pipe. And I'm bending it around so that I can start my forge weld. Once it's bent over, I heat it up again and then put some borax in between as a flux. This is going to clean the metal so that we have a nice clean surface for forge welding. Then I put it on my forge, and I've cut back the oxygen because I don't want a lot of oxidation to happen. I leave it in the forge until a piece of steel rod starts sticking to the metal, and then take it to my anvil and tack the weld. I apply more flux and then put it back in the forge and let it come up to temperature again. I take it back to the anvil, and now I'm just making sure everything's even, that both sides are lined up, and just making sure that the weld is nice and secure. Now that I'm pretty sure the weld is solid, I take it back to the anvil at a lower heat and start shaping the axe head. Start by flattening it out, and then I move over to a cross-peen hammer so I can flare out the bit of the axe, or the blade of the axe, so that it has a nice flared shape. Once I'm happy with that, I use my other hammer just to flatten everything out and finish it up. Now that I'm happy with the shape of the blade, I take it back to the forge and then drive it onto a 1-inch drift just to bring the hole to its final size. I hold it with a steel pipe so that it holds its shape, and then just finish up straightening out the head, making sure that it's even on both sides. Now the forging is done. I'm going to go ahead and start grinding it to shape. So I chuck it in a vise, and with a grinding wheel on my angle grinder, I start cleaning up the top and the bottom of the axe. I'm just cleaning it up, and I'm also bringing it to the final profile that I'm looking for. So now that I'm happy with it, I clamp it to the table and then go with a flap wheel. This is a 120 grit flap wheel. I'm just cleaning and shaping the outside. So now that I'm happy with the shape, it's time for heat treating. We're going to be doing the hardening and tempering pretty much in one step. I take it to my forge and hold it there until the edge no longer sticks to a magnet. Take it a little bit beyond that, and then quench it in canola oil. I hold it there until the color's gone. Then I take a file and scrape off the scale on the edge. Then I watch the colors. Once it gets to a dark straw, I drop it back in. Now the blade's tempered. I use a wire wheel on my angle grinder to clean off all of the scale. Once the scale is gone, the axe head is finished. Now it's time to work on a handle. I have an old shovel that I've been meaning to shorten, so I'm going to be using the shovel handle for the handle of this axe. So I've cut it down to 16 inches. You can see the thinnest part just fits inside the bottom of the axe. Since there's not a lot of material to remove, I'm just using my 120 grit flap sanding disc, just smoothing it down until the axe head will fit on the shaft. So I had filmed rough sanding and fitting the axe head onto the handle and then finish sanding, but for some reason my camera didn't save it. So here's the axe handle all sanded up. I brought it up to a 220 grit. So now that it's sanded, I'm finishing it with a mix of boiled linseed oil and beeswax. I'm just rubbing it in and then buffing it out. So here it is. So now the handle's all finished. You can see it slides on, and the only thing holding it in place is a little bit of friction. So here it is. So now I'm just splitting some kindling, and then I thought it'd be a cool idea to start working on a handle for another tomahawk head I made. Now here are the first 3 throws I've done with this tomahawk. I was really shocked. That first throw was great. I was thinking that I had to do some adjustment, but here I am, 5 yards distance, and I sank all 3, so I'm really happy with that. So here's the tomahawk all finished up. If you have any suggestions for other things you'd like to see me build, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like what I'm doing, be sure to check my channel for more videos, and I've got links in the description for some books that I've written. So here it is. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.